So we can start, I guess. Welcome to everyone, and thank you for being here, attending, despite the temperature, the vacation period, or for those who are working the high season periods. Our goal today is to introduce, not only to introduce and present the master's program in tourism innovation, but also to start to give you an idea of which kind of future or opportunities this sector can offer to different kinds of people and different kinds of profiles and interests. And for these reasons, we have here three of our former alumni who are now working in the industry, have important positions, roles within this industry, and can give you an idea what the future might be if you want to embark in this adventure. So this is our goal for today. This webinar will be recorded because there are many people who could not attend live and asked to see it later with their own times. So the first thing, we will briefly introduce you to the program and to who we are. And for doing this, I leave the stage to Professor Anna Moretti, who is co-director of this master's program. If you want to ask questions, feel free to do it, both to myself, to Professor Moretti, and to our guest that I will introduce later. So write in the chat, open the mic. We are not so many, so you can open the mic and ask the questions whenever you want. So that said, the stage is yours. Yeah, Anna, if you want to just briefly introduce the program and who Venice School of Management and Ciset are.
Okay, thank you very much, Federica, for your introduction, and welcome everybody. I'm very excited to be here. This is my first year as the director of this master that I followed for the past 20 years, I think. So I'm very happy to be here for this open day to present you all the news that are characterizing our program for the forthcoming academic year. So first of all, the Master in Tourism Innovation. Tourism Innovation is our brand new name that we've, of course, decided to apply because we really think that's what we need to focus on in this industry for the challenges that you as future prospect managers in this industry will need to know. As you probably know, the industry is really dynamic. It's one of the most interesting industry in terms of economic returns, in terms of trends, in terms of numbers, and being innovative in this industry with everything that's happening towards society, not to the industry itself, not only to the industry itself, it's very, very important. So this focus on innovation, we think that's one of the main interesting novelties regarding the program. Then, of course, a brief overview on what will we talk about, the events, the hospitality, and the experience management that are three among the many topics that you will focus on during this program. So the Venice School of Management, that's the organizing part from the Ca' Foscari University that contributes to the master itself. It's been recently accredited to with the EQUIS accreditation. That's just, let's say, an interesting reward we're happy to have been awarded with because it's certifying the quality of our business school. As a former department of management, as a public university in Italy, We've shifted to a new name that's exactly reflecting what we're doing in the management department. So we are a business school. And now with the ACWIS certification, we've just been included in the most exclusive network of business schools around the world. So for the European labor market, this is a very, very important certification, but of course that's granted to business schools around the world. And it's basically certifying the quality of our teaching, of our research, and of our connections with the labor market. So the Ciset Research Center and Master, I mean, we have a 30-year-long experience in executive education and consultancy for this industry. I mean, the International Research Center has a story, I mean, a history of successes, and it was a leader for the research in terms of advancing the knowledge of the tourism industry in Italy and all over Europe. The research center was always able to get many different grants, building on its experience on the industry. And executive education was one of the most brilliant, let's say, point of this fruitful relationship between research and education that within the research center we are always being able to exploit. So just recently, the QS World University Ranking awarded us, because I mean, the Venice School of Management and the Ciset Research Center, we are all together under the Università Ca' Foscari umbrella. That's our home together. And we are very happy to having received recently the new QS World University Ranking. That's thanks to our efforts in this specific industry in terms of research and teaching that we are doing together. We've been ranked as the first place in Italy where to study basically hospitality and leisure topics. So I think this is a pretty interesting business card for us. Today we are really doing great, and we are really happy of having received all these awards that are certifying the quality of our research. So the master, next slide, please. It's really grounded in the relationships with the industry. And that's, as you probably know, that's what I think you students, you prospect students are expecting from us. So being able to provide you in terms of executive education, a very broad and strong network with the main companies, the main businesses operating in the industry. And after 30 years of experience, I can grant you that's one of our main strengths. So the master offers not only in terms of teachers, people that will come during the year into the classes to give you these continuous feedbacks and I mean state-of-the-art knowledge of what's happening in the industry, but they will be also there for offering you many opportunities for training and hopefully also for placement. That's in the slide. You can just have a look at some of our main partners, and you can easily recognize one, I mean, among the most important companies that are not only local but national in terms of coverage of their business units, for example. So just a sample of them, and there are many others that you will certainly meet during during your experience at the Master Ciset. So one last but not the least, I would say before leaving the floor to Federica, the employment rate, that we know that's one of the most important points when, let's say, making this decision to apply for executive education or not. What about my likelihood of getting a job? So we're really proud of this employment rate that within 6 months of graduation, we have a 90% coverage, I mean, in terms of employment. So I think that's another point that certifies the very high quality education that's part of our master program. So how does the program work? Federica, I leave the floor to you.
Yes, besides will I get a job, the other most frequent question is which kind of job can I get through this kind of innovation and combining it of education and combining it with my previous background. And here is just, I will leave the answer to this partially to our guest. This is just to give you an idea, and it is not complete, of the kind of subsectors that are hiding behind the label to travel and tourism industry. Because this is not just some of them, these are not the jobs, so these are the kind of specialization within each kind of subsector. And there are, as you can see, and these are not all, and there are many, and there are then 10, 20 jobs under each of these labels you can see here. So basically, it is a world of opportunities there where you can combine what are your skills, your background, your interests to create your own path through the industry. And also this will give you the opportunity also to, it's an industry that gives you the opportunity to change and it's very dynamic. You are not then forced to stay in the hospitality sector for the whole time if you don't want it or if you see an opportunity somewhere else. So it's very dynamic, and this is also a very changing and growing industry. So this means that some of the jobs of the future, we don't know what they will be, because this is rapidly changing and growing at a very fast pace. The forecast is that within 2030, this industry will employ 12% of the world population, so working population. So it means, which means really a lot. This is one of the fastest growing industry at the moment. So there will be even more opportunity in the future. And if you don't like boring jobs, doing always the same thing on a whole day, and you prefer a dynamic job, this is industry that is good for you, that it can be made for you and give you very, very much satisfaction in your future. So to give you an idea, today we are focusing on mainly on events management, and we have two guests who are working within this sector, and to another kind of job that might sound obvious, but for some reasons is not that visible in a way within the hospitality business, because everybody thinks of room division management and then general management of one business unit of the hotels, and then sales management and all those kind of activities are kind of not very visible or visualized by people who think to enter the industry. So I introduce then our first guest, who is Marta Camozza. She has been attending our school some time ago. And from then she started a growing career within mainly the sales department of luxury hospitality brands. And she is now director of travel industry for JW, which is the top luxury brand of Marriott in Venice. So I leave Marta to tell you what her experience has been, how the master helped her through her career. Thank you, Marta.
Hi, hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thanks. So thank you to Professor Samoretti and Federica for inviting me to this event, and welcome to everybody. As for the introduction, I'm actually working for the JW Marriott in Venice as Director of Travel Industry. Everything, but nothing at the same time, if I do not explain it. Basically, I'm a person who is in charge of all sales for the leisure market. I mean, not only tour operators and travel agencies, but also luxury consortia and any contract which is connected with the travel industry, which could be also connection with the air companies, cooperation with different embassies in order to have contracting. So anything which is dedicated to leisure travelers, I mean, not corporate or business traveler, is done directly by me. I've been in this industry since I actually finished my master, which was at the end of 2003, so more than 20 years ago, even if it looks something like the finish quite yesterday. And having said that, I can say that at the beginning, I was very doubtful that the master was the right choice for my career, because I spent a whole year studying a lot, having to cope with very hard subjects, which I did not study in my previous university career or in my high school career. But after a few years, I can say that it was really the best choice I could ever had in order to implement not only my career, but also to give a change to my life. As a matter of fact, my kind of study I did in the past were more connected with literature. So I studied literature at the university and foreign languages when I was at the high school. And when I chose to do a master was just because after a few years of working in a totally different kind of segment, okay, I thought that it was more interesting for me to choose the hospitality, because I found it was something more I mean, it was more in harmony with my attitude, my general attitude. I was not sure that hospitality was exactly the kind of career I would have followed. But during the master, I had the chance to see the different segments connected with the tourism, and I thought that it could be something more aligned with my personality. I immediately addressed myself to the luxury segment. I have to say simply because of the kind of salary I could get, something very basic, okay? Because I thought that working for an high-end company, I could get a better salary, which was not indeed true at the very beginning, okay? But you can get plenty of opportunities when you enter into this kind of industry. As a matter of fact, I started in a basic role. I started as a sales assistant of the director of sales of a resort, of a spa resort. And I spent a couple of years in that position. No, I think less than that. Then I have the chance to enter also in the marketing department, and I worked for a while as marketing manager. Consider that in the year in which I was marketing manager, we were talking about prehistoric marketing. So no social media, no connection with the high-speed marketing that you had now, and some something still connected with a lot of newsletter and a lot of publishing. So we still printed a lot of books and things. But it was interesting for me because I had an overview about what was the image of the hotels, and how I could propose the hotel from a more communicative and public relation point of view. Okay. Following my career, I had the chance also to work for luxury resorts, basically spa and golf resorts. Very challenging from a certain point of view because you have to find the right clients and find mix for them. And also because when you are working for a company which is not worldly well known, you have really to find the right guests and right clients, and you have to go operator by operator in order to convince them that it's worth to have your property inside of their portfolio and to propose it to their clients. Anyway, what I can say that the master was really interesting in that because they give me the strength in order to go on things. And what the master gave me was mainly connected with the tools. So basically, they don't give you immediately a job, but they give you all the tools in order to get it. And not only, they give you also the mentality in order to consider a general vision of the tourism industry and to find the connections and to find also opportunities when you are not able to see them. When I, for example, got my first job in Venice, it was just for a sort of bet. So I said to myself, okay, let's get back to Venice. It will be just for no more than 6 months. And now, it's almost 15 years that I'm here, but in the meantime, I've changed something like 5 or 6 properties. So, and I've worked for very well-known properties such as the Bauer Hotels, the Gritti Palace, Hotel Danieli, the St. Regis. And now I'm working for this property, which is absolutely challenging because this is something new for Venice. This is a private island where you have a great mix of events, but also of leisure guests. And my first challenge was to convince the guests to come in a property that they would have never chosen before, because basically it's not in the city center. They have to take a boat to go to it. They have to pay quite an important rate, okay, rate. And so you have to find something which is not clear, but you have to find a new resource in order to sell it. And what basically I love on my job is the fact that it's really dynamic. I mean, I can every day deal with something different, but also in the same day, I deal with 10 or 20 different items. And what I learned from it during the years is to prioritize things and to look at my goals. So when I was younger, I did everything and I was always in a hurry. I was always looking, I was always having a lot of tasks and not having exactly an idea of which was my priority and what I had to do. During the years, and thanks also to the fact that I was able to understand better my goals and so on, I was able to have a whole idea of what I have to do. And I became first a manager and then a director. So basically, it's a career that you achieve during the time, okay? And that allows you to grow also during your paths during the years, okay? And as I told before, the working in tourism is always, for me, it's a sort of a daily award because I'll never know what will happen on the following day. I met very interesting people. It's true. I also have very hard days I have to cope with hard tasks, with not very pleasant people. But I tell you that it's a sort of drug. So I travel a lot, but what is exactly what I want to do, and sometimes even too much a lot, but this allows me to have the chance to meet always new people, new cultures, new ideas, and it always like being a new person, okay, and to having a daily new birth, okay, and that's something that I think that no other job will be able to give you. So the possibility of being creative, of developing your own strategy, which is changes daily, because consider that according to what happens in the world, okay, you need also to change your strategy. If you have a word in a certain place, you have, for example, to consider to move for sales your market in another from another region, and you have to change the strategy you have already planned since 1 year. If you're so anything with changes in the world rapidly has to change also in your sales strategy, and at the same time that gives you a lot of passion and also a lot of energy in order to continue. I say that it's true, you have to dedicate a bit of your personal time on it, but in a certain sense, this will give you a different personality that will give you a lot of outputs. So basically, this was my experience, and I can tell you that it's not something finished. It's still something growing and also allowing you to have everyday development. For example, working in a huge company like Marriott and in retail in the luxury segment allows me always to have this new challenge. And trust me, if you are able to enter in a huge company, also the tools that the company gives you are very important. So I remember to Federica, because she told me at the very beginning, you have to enter in a company. And at the beginning, I did not wish that. I wish to work for a small hotel, for a small property, an independent one. And later on in the years, I understand she was right. Because when you enter a company, they give you tools, they give you a sort of way of thinking that will be useful for you also in your life, also when you get out of your company. So it's sort of strategy, okay, a pattern that you can use. And of course, you need to adapt it also to the present situation. That's it. Okay. So.
Thank you, Marta. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.
If you have questions for Marta, then you write it in the chat. In the meantime, I'll keep it for later, because I'm now introducing our next guest, who is Milica Gavrilović. Milica, again, is our former student. She is from Belgrade. She studied here, and then after a while went back to hometown, and she started right away to work for in the events sector, first here in Venice, then later in Belgrade. And now she is Vice President for Meetings and Convention Services for ABTS, which is a company which has premises in Belgrade and in Miami, but works globally. They organize meetings and conventions. They are specialized especially on medical conventions. So Milica, still here? Your stage is
Yes, yes. Thank you. I fixed a little bit my camera because the focus was bad.
It is solved
now. It should work. Yeah, okay. So thank you, Master, for the invitation. I'm always glad to share my experience that I had attending the Master. It was basically in 2009-2010 edition when it was still in Oriago. Now it's Treviso. It's also really nice vacation for both, and I like it a lot. So basically, Master had a very big influence on my private and professional life, because I met my husband during the Master, which I realized later on. And he also did the same testimony, I think, last year for the revenue management. So we are both coming from the tourism. So basically, when I decided to come to master, this was one of the programs that the University from Belgrade had agreement to work with and to recognize my studies. For me, it was challenging at that time choose the right master, either in English or in Italian as a foreign student, because I was also fluent, like I'm now in Italian. So basically, that was the first challenge that I faced. But when I saw all the recommendations from the previous students, the program itself, and also when I went there for the first interview, because there were several stages that we needed to pass, especially as a foreigner student, I knew immediately that that's the perfect one, because the program that was given then and now, I think, is one of the best that you can find in Europe, to speaking honestly, because I have different friends all over the world that are familiar with the master, because that's both the Ciset and the university. So you actually get in such a small period a knowledge on the academic level, like by the book, how they say, and then the practice immediately, which is something that nowadays is very appreciated, especially for now when everything is so quick and you don't have so much time for studying for years. This is one of the biggest advantages, and I think that should be considered. For me at that time was really interesting to learn, because there were like the lessons in English and Italian from the high level people from the tourism that make books that I learned, that I was studying also here in Belgrade, and also the practice after that was I actually, after we finished the part in the classroom, we had, of course, with the help of Federica and the staff Simona, I think it was that year, to find the best stage for us, the internship, which was a big help in that. And I think also nowadays, because you're basically introduced immediately to the companies that are leader in the sector, in the tourism, in the whole Italy. I basically went from Genova to Venice for a different PCOs and even for the cruises company to do the events. It was Costa Crociere at that time. Then I went to Altrex. There was also other really important names in the tourism at that time and nowadays too, because Venice is the center of tourism, not only in Europe, but I think in the world, where everything is happening in terms, especially also for the events, because by the time I did the internship with Altrex, it was an event company based, which now I think it's called Expo Venice or something like that, where basically they were doing the major events in the tourism industry. It was the Mostra del Cinema, Redentore, all the Regata Storica, all the big events from the place, plus the corporate events, plus the medical events, because basically they were appointed agency for the dentistry academic in Italy. So basically I had the chance in like 4 months to see different type of the events and to understand literally what I would like to proceed my knowledge into. So basically, I stayed there for 4 months. After what, they offered me the contract. It was from the beginning of the following year, and I think that was really helpful, at least for me as a foreign student in Venice. And I stayed there for like more than 2 years until I applied for this position that I'm currently in. Basically, I started as a manager, even as a senior, as a manager, meetings and conventions manager. The company that I am working for now is the international company, and they have offices. They had even in Italy, in Belgrade and in Miami. Basically, we are working with more than 30 medical associations in the USA, organizing their annual events for all the doctors coming domestic within the Canada and the USA and abroad. So we are helping them with the accommodation, with the registration, with the events on site. We do not do like airplane tickets and things like that. But like for 12 years now, I'm doing that. And I think why Master helped me in that, because basically when the owner of the company, who is based in Miami, saw my CV and he saw that I was literally attending the Master. He is Italian originally, but still when he called me and then I did the interview, the Master was the first thing that was different in me from people who were applying here. It was like around 320 applications for that position. And then they selected two candidates, which was me and another colleague. So Marta in that way helped me a lot, plus the knowledge I gained during the course, plus the internship that lasts like for almost 2 years. So more or less, this was my experience. I don't want to now bother with more information, but if you have any specific questions on anything, I think the medical industry nowadays is huge, not only in the USA, but also in Europe, because of the continuing medical education units they teach of the doctors needs to have during the year. It will always be something that will be going on. Of course, what happened previously in past with COVID and all the restrictions, the tourism industry and the events, I think it hit it more, but now the things are changing and it's getting better. And I think that the live touch that you have during the events, independently if it's a medical meeting or corporate event or private event, or in a hotel or in a convention center, is something that cannot be exchanged never online. And it's a unique experience for the attendee and for the organizer. So this will be from my side. If you have any questions, just please ask now or later, whenever.
Okay. Do we have any question for Milica or for Marta? And maybe you thought about this during the training. I just will underline that we just described a couple of professions and a couple of job profiles, and you can see how complex and differentiated this word is. Also, when you say events, it doesn't mean basically anything, because there is again a word underneath these words: medical, corporate, and so on. And then the same things if you say sales, but is which kind of sales? Are we talking about corporates? Are we talking about corporates? Are we talking about individuals and so on? So how differentiated it is. Okay, if they might think about the question, I will introduce Valentina then. Valentina Paro is another, she is also working in a way in the events industry. She is presently marketing and events manager for Lignano Sabbiadoro Gestioni, which is a company, destination management company. So another thing coming up here. So a company that manages and promotes and organizes a destination, which is in case is a destination for the northern coast of Italy, for those who don't know or are not very familiar of where it is. But Valentina before comes from a long experience in social media marketing, and she has also been a travel blogger herself. So she has a very differentiated experience, and now she will let you know about it and tell you about it. Thank you, Valentina.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for calling me. As already explained, I attended the master in 2008, and now I am marketing, more communication manager and event manager here in Lignano Sabbiadoro Gestioni. Lignano Sabbiadoro Gestioni is a beach resort in the Friuli Venezia Giulia region, is the biggest tourism destination here in the region. And my company is a little bit peculiar because it's both public and private. So the public shareholders are the municipality of Lignano Sabbiadoro and Friuli Venezia Giulia region. So basically our business is to manage some parts of the beach of Lignano Sabbiadoro. We rent beach umbrellas. Our business comes from there. We also give side services. We also manage kiosks. For kiosks, a restaurant that the Terrazza Mare is the symbol of Lignano, and that is now under renovation, and one dock. But for its history, for the history of our company, we have also a role of promotion for the city. And we, in the things that we do in our company, we also organize events that we decide to organize as a private company, but also events that we organize together with the region or the municipality. So my job is made of two souls. That's the communication part and the event manager part, the event organization part. My background is more communicative. I come from a 3-year degree in public relations. I studied languages. And after these 3 years at the university, I have to decide what to do next. And I was a little bit, I didn't know what to do. I have to decide if study 2 years more of public relation, but I thought that it was repetitive. So I found out the master. I already had some experiences in the travel industry. I live near the beach, the beaches of the Adriatic coast, so I had some seasonal experience in campings, like receptionist, and I started to know this word, the tourism word, and I said to myself, I would like to go deeper with that and have a specialization. So I attended the master. And I think that the most important thing was for me the internship that I had at the end of that year, because it was 2008. You have to think that at that time there was Facebook, but it wasn't used as today. Companies didn't have weren't able to use that as a mean of communication. It was just something to connect with friends. And during this internship that I did in a communication agency in Venice, that whose clients were mainly hotels, luxury hotels, I had the possibility to know this word of the communication agency, and to continue with a project work that went deeper to the use of Facebook for the travel, for the hotels, basically. From that moment, I finished the internship. I finished the master, and then I had, thanks to the master, a job opportunity in Expedia. And I think that the fact that I had the possibility to work in the online, that was a very wide word, helped me to enter Expedia. There I was just hotel assistant. I was doing hotel assistance, but you work in Expedia, it's a very big name in your CV, and it was really important for my personal experience, but also for my CV. Then I decided to come home and to continue this communication path in a local agency. And after some years, I decided to start working on my own as a social media manager. And in the meantime, I also opened my travel blog. That was the really beginning of travel blogs, so like a pioneer. And all these different experiences that I have had, and that could also seem so different between them and maybe not connected, at the end, if I look back, were the basis that brought me to my actual job. I found this job in Lignano, Sabbiadoro, and I entered mainly because I was very keen on communication. I didn't know anything about the event organization, but now, after about 8 years here, I prefer the event organization rather than the communication and the social world that changed a lot, and now it's also very difficult to face. For what concerns the events that we organize here, are mainly events that obviously are located on the beach, so on the sand. So we organize sport events, like we had some beach rugby, beach soccer tournaments. We organize concerts and shows, mainly with national artists and singers. We also organize food and wine events. Next week, we'll try to break Guinness World Record with the biggest bath, midnight bath with lights, with LED lights. So it's very different. We have different kind of events that I have to organize. But if I had to enter the specific, every event shares some aspects, some stages that can go from the bureaucratic and technical aspects to the logistic, obviously. The fact that you have to manage the staff, your own staff, the staff of the company, but also the suppliers that you need to hire to provide you with the goods and services that we don't have inside our company. The communication, obviously, because each event has to be communicated. And what else? Also the artistic point of view, because when you, for example, have to organize a concert, just to give you an example, you have to contact the manager or the agency, decide the date, decide who you want to hire, which artist, sign contracts, proceed with a communication, and that are the main aspects of my job. The fact that we work on the beach maybe makes my job different from others, because if you organize a concert in a stadium or in a theater, or an event in a theater, you have all the facilities inside your building. While we on the beach, we start from a white paper, because every summer, at the end of the summer, we need to leave the beach clear without any facility, and everything has to be dismantled. And at the beginning of the season, we need to rebuild everything. So we need to go to the beach, decide which part will be used for our stage, obtain all the authorization from the municipality, from the port captaincy, from all the authorities, and then go and build the stage, build the area, ensure that all the safety and security measures are respected, and bring there the changing room for artists, because we don't have them. So we need to rent containers that are changing rooms, chemical toilets. We need to put down plastic floors, because we need to make easier the access of the staff, the workers to the area to work. We can access only with tractors, and specific tracks. So the logistical aspect for me is really challenging. Apart of the fact that you also have to organize all the people that work with you, because basically in my job, I don't really do something manual. I don't know. My job is not very doing something. I have my coworkers that do the things, but I have to tell everybody what they have to do. So I have to have the complete plan of what comes next, work per priority, task after task, but have a complete vision of what I have to do and what other people have to do. So you also need to be good in the interpersonal skills. And that's it. If you have some question about that, it's also difficult to explain the job because it's made of very little tasks, and you do that every day, and you never stop and think what you do and why you're doing that. So if you have a question.
You did a great job in describing what your job is and how much a combination of creativity with great organizational and management skills it is. It requires both aspects, left and right brain all together to get there. This is quite a feature working in events, to have these two skills that seem completely different at the same time.
They are skills that you can also develop. You don't need to have them because you are made in a certain way. I never thought that I worked in the event organization because I thought that I was too anxious, maybe, but at the end, that's not true. You change and you develop your skills.
Yeah, sure. That can be developed for sure, yes. And you need a bit of training, but
yes, of course.
It can be developed, yeah. I don't know if you have questions for our guests. You can ask them now, because then Valentina has an event tonight, so she needs to go back to a work.
I get one. Two.
Hello? Yes. Francesco? We can't hear you anymore.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, everyone. I got two questions. One for Miss Marta and one for Milica. I hope I pronounced it well. The first one is, what was your age, Miss Marta, when you got your first job in the hotel industry? If I can ask.
Okay. As a matter of fact, I was already over 30. So I was 30, let me check a little bit, 20 years. It was 33.
Okay.
I mean, I was almost 33. That's why I already told that I spent some years before doing something else. So that's why I was really interested in changing my life. And I actually did.
Okay, thank you. And the other question for Ms. Milica, I did not understood what was your position before the master.
Basically, I finished the university 4 years.
Okay.
I did hospitality and tourism management, and then I came to Venice to do the master in tourism. I was more focused on hospitality during the studies, and then I wanted to expand more knowledge about tourism in general. And there is why I chose the master, more towards the agency, not only hotels. Because before the master, I did the internship in Hyatt and Intercontinental here in Belgrade. And then when I came to Italy and did the master, I was more focused to try my experience also in the travel agency, always in the events department, not only within the hotel, but also within the agency. So, your first question was interesting because that's true. When I was in the master, there were really different ages, you know, from 23, 4 to 35, 40. So it's never late to change or do something that you think that you know, like you are interested in, or to try. And I think master for this, it's really good choice for all my colleagues' experience and from mine.
And so don't hesitate. What I can tell you is that when you are a professional in our industry and you wish to work, you always find a position and you will see plenty of opportunities opening for you. You will be astonished by the kind of searches we are having with no interesting people to find. I mean, basically, we are looking for people, and we are not able to find the right person. So, if you have skills and you wish to work, and of course you have an attitude to work with people, you always find a position for you. And if you work, in my case, for hotelery, you also will have a chance to move a lot all over the world. Okay. And you will never get bored. Trust me, never, never, never.
No, I know, because I mean, I work in a restaurant as a F&B supervisor. So
okay.
I'm looking for a step up to work
as F&B director. Luckily, we just changed our F&B director, but who knows for the future?
Why not take it?
Yeah. Look at Marriott's career; you always find a new opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you. Now, Francesco has broken the ice. Maybe other questions? Okay, then. We go on by you thinking a bit. As you can see, we are you need, as we were discussing with Valentina, we need very specific, you need to develop very specific skills for this sector. So the idea on how do we do this and how do we do it within 1 year. Of course, it's not everything done in 1 year, because then it is the beginning of a career or a new career or a new way of growing within your own career. But in any case, what is needed is to develop a series of tools, a series of skills and knowledges. So to do this in 1 year, especially from next year on, what we try to do is to combine a series of expertise and a series of approaches we developed through science, and which is also granted by the fact that we are both from one side academia and from the other side applied knowledge, consultancy, and as we will also add a taste now with medical just within the industry. And so we know what's going on in the industry. So the key features of the programs are pre-award learning experiences, which we provide through what we call the industry days and industry classes. Industry classes are a typical thing of this program. It means that the professionals are going to teach the future professionals. So you have events manager, like the ones you met today, explaining you what's their job, what they need, which kind of strategy they are putting on. And the same goes, for example, for sales manager. What is my job? What I'm doing? What kind of tools I'm going to use? Then we will have industry days during the 4 intensive weeks we will have in March. And the industry days are days where you go in a company and do a project there. You see it. We have a picture here. This is the Radisson, New Radisson in Venice. This is not a visit. This is, in reality, this is a lecture you are seeing here. What you do, for example, you go at Hilton and you discuss, they give you, how do we need to recruit this kind of job profiles, this kind of people, how do we do it, how do you solve this problem, which kind of channels we should use, how are you going to assess the CVs and so on. Or they can give you a problem about sales, as we said, or how do we imagine a new event we want to organize. So this what it means then in practical to industry days. Then we have live projects. The live projects are students' consultancy projects. It means the students act as a consultant for a company. So on a real problem or a destination even, so on a real problem or an idea these organizations wants to develop. So basically it again puts the students in touch directly with the managers, maybe in positions and roles they won't have for a long time as students, but to give an idea of what the future work must entail, not the entry level, but what the future is and which kind of problems and which kind of challenges you have to face and which kind of work you have to do. And I don't know if then Anna, I see she's still here, want to add something on.
Yes, of course I am, Federica, thank you. I mean, I have many things I wanted to say, but I think that the three guests we had were perfect in explaining what are we aiming to do with our program, because as, for example, we heard from Valentina, the soft skills, it's something that you need some training to develop, and then it's up to you, of course. But I mean, the master is somehow helping you in discovering what you need. And these features that Federica presented you are, I mean, specifically aimed at making you experience this process. And the three realms, I mean, working with the real world, that's really what we wanted to do with executive education. It's exactly the goal of executive education. The applied academic knowledge, as Milica said perfectly before, I mean, she said exactly this. I mean, you have the knowledge and you, I mean, open your mind, and you also, I would say you get I mean, aware of your competency, your knowledge, and you're, I mean, stronger on the job market when you have this academic knowledge that's of course applied to the industry. We have several professors beyond professionals. I mean, we have several professors that invested many years in studying the industry, so it's really applied academic knowledge. And then the part that's tailored, customized perfectly on each student. That's what's start designing the personal career path. I mean, the three ingredients are there for a perfect receipt that I think our guests explained perfectly. So nothing more to add. Thank you for this.
Thank you. And then just briefly to close up, because it's already 15 past 6, just to give you an idea of what the calendar and what it is organized. So we start on January 23rd. We already have dates with all the parts, including industry classes, lectures, the projects, the hands-on labs. This part will be online and part-time. We start January and up to February, and then begin again in April to June. In March, we will have 4 intensive weeks here in Venice, but not only in Venice. And also, we are going to do to have visits, do fieldwork with other international students. For example, we will have the industry days, as I explained before them, and all the parts that requires for the personal and leadership development that requires you to be here on site and to see you directly. And these, I know that for someone might be difficult to organize if you are still working or going on, but these parts is really very important also because to see directly, for example, the kind of properties or the kind of hotels Marta works for, you have to see them to have an idea of which kind of spaces there are, what are the characteristics, or how they are different from one to the other, and even in the luxury sector there are a lot of different kind of segments. So it's very important to be there, and also it's very important to meet directly with the people you are going to work with in the future. So the managers. From June to September, there is the internship. All for those of you who are already working, we can recognize your own work if it is, of course, within the travel and tourism industry. We recognize the credits in the same way as we recognize the credit for the internship. Then it's back to online lectures from October more or less to November, to end everything with your project work, which is smaller kind of thesis, which will be developed specifically on your own experience during the internship or during your work activities in December. The online lectures through all the periods, so January, February, April, May, and then October, November will be online and part-time. So we will have lectures basically on Thursdays afternoons and Friday all day. While in March it is 5 days a week full time. We will get the best from the time we have here all together. So these are the practical part. For the rest, keep in touch. If you want feedback on your CVs, I'm ready to talk with Francesco and maybe with some of those of you. But if the other ones, if they want feedback on your CV, assess the opportunity the industry has for you, considering your backgrounds or what you can do next. Get in touch. You get into the website and you can book, reserve a video call with us. This is just our first open day. We have other events. The next upcoming one is the 9th of September in Venice. This also will be on site for the ones who want to attend, but we will have another in October and in November. And for the rest, ask whatever you need to ask. These are all the contacts you can reach us with, but we are also on all the social medias. So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, whatever, except TikTok. But for the rest, we are there. And just recall you that if you want to have the full experience, so let's say the package including the career service, if you apply within the first window, which closes mid-September, you will get a 30% discount on the fee. So just to remember you that there is this possibility to recall you that there is this possibility if you already have an idea of what you prefer to do. And for the rest, if you have other questions, we are here, and also from a practical point of view, whatever. Yes, I see that Elisa has sent you also the link on the chat to book, to reserve a call. Okay. Any other questions, stops, whatever? If not, I thank you again.
Yeah, sorry, Federica. I was saying the same. Thank again our guests. Their presentations were really inspiring, and thank you for sharing your experience. That was really beautiful. Thank you. And thank you also Federica and Elisa, of course, for organizing this open day.
Thank you very much, and it was a pleasure to see you all again, because I always keep in touch in a way and follow people,
Yeah.
but it was a while I didn't see you directly in a way.
Okay.
We are waiting for you in person.
Yeah, see you in Venice, hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you to everybody. Thank you.
Salutami Fabio.
Ok, anche lui saluta tutti. Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao, thank you.
Thank you, bye.
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 Thank you.